for the leadership training, I really was wondering what else could I teach? What else could I share that will make an impact or make meaning to everybody that is a member of MENTEE? Okay, and I really wanted something that after we hear this or after we participate in this training, it's going to leave a mark on us that's going to allow us to always become more significant in success than where. And really that's always my goal. My goal is to always get you to be, to challenge yourself to do more and to exceed significantly. Okay, success that brings significance to your life. And that's really what I'm always in for. All right. So today's topic is team leader versus mentor. Okay. So there is a nuance between these two. And oftentimes when it's mistaken, many people become unhappy. They are not able to take responsibility for their business. They are not able to become productive as they should. Okay. And I want to, just bring that clarity to you so that you know what exactly you need to become successful in your MENTEE business. So this presentation, although could be taken at different levels, I'm going to just make it very specific to MENTEE so that you know how this works for you personally in your journey with MENTEE. All right. So let's get in. I believe you know my name already. I don't need to do any further introductions. What we shall cover. Okay. So I'll be briefly doing a bit of introduction to this training by something I call define your why. Okay. And I believe just like with every creation or everything that we have there, I believe I'm a Christian, so I believe in spirituality. I believe that the spirit is more important than what we see with the eyes. Okay. So those things that we don't see are more powerful than those things we see. And in fact, those things we don't see influence what we see. All right. So when we get into anything, it is very important to understand what is running us or what is behind it so that we can know how to, influence those things and change our course in manifestation. So that is what I'm going to look at in the introduction. Then we'll look at who is a team leader and the role of a team leader. We'll also look at the role of a new member or a member. Okay. So it doesn't matter whether you have been here 1 year, like since for 1 year now, or you are just a new member, it's going to apply to you. We're also going to look at mentoring. Okay. Who is a mentor? And for me, that's the focus of this presentation, actually to throw more light on why you need a mentor. Okay. So we are going to look at who a mentor is, the role of a mentor. We're going to look at the benefits of having a mentor and how to find a mentor. Okay. Because it's not just everybody or anybody that can be your mentor, that should even be your mentor. Okay. So we're going to look at that. Then we look at your role as a mentee. Somebody who wants a mentor. Okay. What should be your role? What should be your attitude? What should you do as a mentee to get significant results from your mentoring program or whatever relationship you have? Then we're going to cap that by going through a summary of everything that we've done. I hope that is okay. Forgive me, I tend to be very much like a class 1 teacher. Okay, so I just take things step by step. Okay, so I hope that doesn't bore you. All right, so let's get into it. So first of all, for my introduction, I want to lay a foundation here. Okay, and that is define your why. Okay, and for that I have a statement here. Your goal is what you seek to achieve. And many times, most of us, we know that to become successful, we need to set a goal. We need to have a target. We need to have, a direction. We need to know what we need to do to achieve what. Okay. So when we talk about goal setting, we talk about, SMART goals and all those things, which is good because goals give you direction. It gives you, a way of measuring what you are doing, whether you are becoming successful or not. But I believe that what is more important than a goal is the purpose for your goal. Okay, why you do what you do is really what drives things. And again, when we look at this, especially when we talk about our MENTEE business, the MENTEE opportunity in itself kind of gives us goals, okay, in itself. Because when you start a business, like for example, when I did the last training the last time, I talk about the fact that you can rank advanced very fast, right? And basically, if you actually look at the compensation plan, you can set a short-term goal, you can set a medium-term goal. Maybe the short-term goal is to just make income, specifically just to make an income. So you started your business, you've invested, or you started with a capital of maybe agency, which is $805, right? And your immediate goal is to maybe make that money back, or your immediate goal is to start earning from the board, or your immediate goal to sell your first product. Okay, that could be a short-term goal. Or your immediate goal could be just capture the elite, like we talked about, all right? And then we could have a medium-term goal. And the medium-term goal could be get to director or get to elite manager, where you've earned a significant amount of income, maybe got yourself a car, and with that, you can now scale up to the long-term goal, which is actually going for diamond. So in itself, the comp plan kind of sets out a goal for you, and you can actually, track it. If you use a 3x3 system, you can actually track your progress. You can know what you are doing. You can know how well you are doing. You can set timelines and things for yourself. But the reason why many people get sidetracked, and I'm going to talk about that, is that they just get into the game without really knowing why they're doing what they're doing. It's quite interesting, okay? The interesting thing is, the mistake some of us do is that we think that everybody maybe wants money, or everybody wants a car, or everybody wants to go diamond, or everybody wants a house, right? It's those things, those rewards. Yes, they are good. They are good for goals. They are good for setting a target. They are good for, giving you some direction and purpose. But if the person does not really identify why he really wants to go that way, it becomes a challenge. And that is why many people, even for our prospects, we know that a lot of the people we talk to actually need our opportunity. Many times they even need our products, right? But the reason why they are not able to come to that point to actually decide to make a decision to join us or to buy the product or to use the product. Some people even buy the product, they don't even use it. All right. So the reason is that they don't have the conviction. They are not convinced that whatever they are joining or whatever they are doing is actually going to get them to fulfill their purpose. And it's interesting. So everybody joining this business, if you haven't done so, one of the things that's going to catapult you into your success is really to identify why you are really doing this. And I'm not talking about, don't just say, I want money. Money is a means to an end. So you really need to identify why. Why is it just for just for doing its sake? Some people are just go-getters. Yes, wherever you place them, they will do well. But really, when the purpose is not identified and fulfilled, you just get it and you still not be satisfied. You get whatever you want, but you realize that there's still emptiness. So I think it was Simon Sinek that said this, that people don't buy what you sell. They buy, or they don't buy what you do. They buy the reason or why you do what you do. That's actually what they buy. So when there's a sense of purpose, there's an attraction there. All right. And that's really what I have to say about that. So if your why is not clearly defined, basically you can easily give up. And that's true. And that's one of the reasons why there's a lot of people just becoming inactive in the business. All right. There's a reason. Okay. If your purpose is not clearly defined, if your why in quotes is not clearly defined, you can easily give up. And there's no, you just don't look back, because if the reason is just to make money, there are 1,001 ways to make money, right? But why particularly did you choose Mary? See, that's the real question. So basically, this is really where, for me, the key is. And once you identify your why, what begins to happen is that if you are driven by your why, not just the rewards, you are not only going to become unstoppable, but you're also going to be able to attract the right people that can help you reach your goals. So the reason why you need to identify your why and your purpose, and that's why it's important also to have your story, is because that will now connect you. Everything you're going to do must be now in alignment with that purpose. If it's not, you're not going to find fulfillment. If it's not, you're not going to be happy, even though you are getting results. It's amazing how some people can reach maybe very high ranks in the business and for no apparent reason, I'm good cold on the business, right? So this is really, really an important thing to look at as you begin your business, or wherever you are at this stage in your business. You must begin to look at it. Why do you want to go diamond? What is the real intent? What is the purpose? What do you want to achieve with that? When you're able to identify that and make it clear, for someone, like for example, the last time we did a presentation, and there was an old lady in the presentation, and clearly, if just by merely looking at the person, I wouldn't have introduced the business to such a woman, because she looked old and weak and frail and everything, and really you wouldn't think that that woman would be interested in doing the business. But after the presentation, we touched on a number of points which actually spoke to this particular reason. And when the woman was done, she asked it. When we're done, the woman just asked a question, which actually tied into why she wanted to do the business. And the question was, if I do this business and supposed to be something happens to me and I pass away, will I be able to pass on the business to my children? And the answer was yes. And when we said that, there was some glow on her face, and you could tell that the reason why she wanted to do this business was not just for herself, was not just for, maybe she had lived a life of working a job for many years, and she had probably not been able to leave anything significant behind that she can boast of or hand over to her children. And now she's getting an opportunity to do that. So for her, when that happened, the lights went on for her, and that was the reason she signed up, and that was the reason she kept going. Okay, so this is really a very important thing for every one of us, especially those of us who feel like we are struggling, to begin to consider that aspect. All right, because when you do, like I said, you're going to be able to attract the right people to you that can actually help you on your journey. All right, now, so this is the big question for you as you begin to think about your why. Now, why are you doing MENTEE? Again, don't just give yourself, you have to go deep, remove the levels of layers around that and get to the core of it. Why are you doing MENTEE? Why MENTEE and not any other company? Okay? Do you truly believe that MENTEE is the right vehicle to get you to your dream life the fastest way? Do you truly believe it? Do you truly believe that we have some of the best products, that our products are effective? If you actually do believe, you actually be using the products. You will not complain about so much about, or you not get scared when people come up with what I call objections, okay? When people come up with excuses or with scary experiences of our products. If you truly believe that our products are that effective, that our products are breakthrough premium quality products that are actually effective, that work in sync with your body, it makes a whole lot of difference. It doesn't matter what anybody says or anybody thinks. You know. And that is where you can now, with that confidence you have, you can now impact other people around you. So even when somebody comes up with a negative, like recently, I gave a box of Virgin, excuse me to use this example, but I gave a box of Virgin to a lady, right? And she literally didn't have to buy it. She just took it from me and said she'll give it back to me later. I said, no problem. Okay. And the lady went to give it to somebody else. And then about a month later, the lady now returns the Virgin box to me, almost empty, with maybe 2 sticks in it. And then what happens? The lady says that when they opened it, the vagina had discolored and it was spoiled. It was spilled inside. And because of that, her client didn't like it and blah, 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 blah. I was like, really? But I said, that's normal because our product is natural. The color cannot be consistently white, or sometimes it's yellowish. So if you don't have that confidence about your product, you're going to get scared when somebody comes like that. And eventually, somebody wanted to take it after I gave that answer. You see? So if you are really confident, because our products are not expired, they are still very effective, it works, okay? And you just need to be confident enough, and your confidence is not going to impact on your prospects, it's not going to impact on your partners, it's not going to impact on anybody or on your customers. But when you are internally afraid or insecure, it's going to show, and that's what's going to cause a lot of problems in the future. Now, so let's go into it, all right? Who is your team leader? Okay, and for me, this is simply, in a marriage, this is simply who a team leader is. Your team leader is your sponsor, okay? So for anybody at all who has sponsored one person, you are a team leader. If you have sponsored one person, you are a team leader. You have a responsibility. You have become like a father, okay? Now, a team leader is also anyone in your upline. Okay, so all upline leaders, so people who have people under them, you are all team leaders. So if you're also very new into this business and you are thinking, okay, who is my team leader? Anybody above you. So you're the one who introduced you to the business is the person we call the sponsor. Okay, so it's not the person who paid for you, but the person who actually introduced you to the business is the one who is your sponsor. And anybody who introduced that person and that person's upline all the way up to the very top they are your team leaders. Okay, now, so the role of a team leader is, number one, to get the new member quickly oriented. So this is another thing that we must all inculcate, okay? As we begin, it doesn't matter whether you're a new member or you are already, having a big team. This is by practice. This is your responsibility. This is your role as a team leader. Anytime you introduce somebody who joins a business, you must quickly get that person oriented into the business. So the person must be able to get access to his back office. Okay, you must help that person. You must remind that person, listen, you need to set up your password and you need to get access to your back office. Okay, and give him some basic information about the opportunity, about his board and all those things. That gives him some clarity. That is what I call a quick orientation. Okay, the team leader is also supposed to introduce the partners or the partner to the details of the product and business. So the person may have signed up because he wanted to just use products. It doesn't matter. Or the person may have signed up just because he wanted to get the products cheaper. Or the person signed up because he wanted to do retail. Or the person just saw the network marketing bit, okay, of introducing people, and that's all. He jumped in, okay. Or the person attended a presentation, listened to everything, and signed up. But you, as a team leader, you have a responsibility to actually give the person details, further details, okay. And also you have a responsibility to add those members to a social media group where they get continuous training and information about the business, so that they get more and more aware about what is happening. So when there are testimonies about the product, they get it. When there are testimonies about people rank advancing and all that, when all those exciting things that go on, there are events that are going on, they get it in time. All right. Now, if you leave that new member without this adequate, environment, you're going to basically help the person to get cold, and eventually that is what kills a lot of businesses. Okay, now you must also be available to provide support. Okay, so as a team leader, when your partner needs information, it is your responsibility to either get information for the person or get the person in touch with somebody who can give the person that information. So that kind of continuous support is very necessary as a team leader. And you also need to provide an enabling environment for your team to succeed. So everything you are doing as a team leader is ensuring that you are not being biased towards a section of your team, but actually creating an enabling environment for everybody in your team to actually reach their maximum potential in the business, right? So that is it. Now, the difference between a team leader and a mentor is that a mentor is an experienced and trusted advisor. That's by definition, okay? Another definition is that a mentor is an experienced or knowledgeable person who trains and counsels a less experienced or less knowledgeable person. So you see that here we are not talking about sponsor or anything. We are talking about somebody who knows a little bit more than you and is in a position to be able to guide you and train you because of his level of experience, which you don't have, okay? And when we bring it specifically to the business, there are a lot of people in the business who have reached certain levels of success that may have certain experiences that can help you in your journey as an Imerian, okay? So mentoring, therefore, is an ongoing relationship. And the word to underline there is a relationship of learning, dialogue, challenge, and personal development. All right. Now, what's the role of member? Okay. Now, as a member, you are fully responsible for your business and success in Mary. You are supposed to seek help when you need it. Okay. So some people, when they join the business, they go quiet. They just go hide, and they're expecting that the person who introduced them is the one who's always supposed to be calling them, always supposed to be find out whether they have problems or not, always. But you must be aware that you are fully responsible for your own business. When you sign up to the Mary business, you're an independent distributor. What you get from your team leaders is support, not for them to do everything for you. So when you recognize that responsibility, you need to know that if you want something, you really have to go for it or ask for it, all right? And that's why you need to seek help when you need it, all right? You must be responsive on group platforms. So when they place you on group chats, like on WhatsApp or Telegram or whatever group it is, where you get other people contributing, it is your responsibility also to be responsive. And it turns out that most of the time, I don't know how this works, but those who are responsive on those platforms tend to be successful. I don't know how it works, okay? Those normally engaging and responding to people when they need help, or providing resources and searching out materials to share, getting motivational stuff to share, and doing all those things on the platform, and they are active on those platforms, they tend somehow to be successful. So you want to be like someone like that, because when you are all out doing your business, everything plays in your favor. All right? Now, as a team member also, you're supposed to participate in training and other events that's organized by corporate, okay? Now, as a team member also, you also need to find your mentor. This is your responsibility. It is not up to your team leader to find you your mentor. And I'll come to what you need to do to find a mentor, okay? Now, you are also supposed to support other team members, okay? So if you're a member of a team, it calls for team playing. So you don't just be at the receiving end, you have to find ways of also giving support to other members of the team, right? And you need to contribute positively to the well-being of the entire Imeri community. So don't just, some people are so team-centered that they want everything for their team, but they don't give anything out to other team members or any other person who is not in their organization. And I personally, on my level, I'll say that is wrong, okay? So find, ways of always contributing positively to the bigger agenda, because when Imeri has a good name in Nigeria, in Ghana, it sells. And it ripples back to you and your team, because when your team member down there somewhere goes to another person and mentions Imeri, those people are already going to have a very good and positive image about Imeri, and it's going to encourage them to sign up. But if other people, if there's negativity spreading around about a company, and you think that you're not caring because you are doing well in your business, basically what's going to happen is that it's going to ripple back to you, and probably your downline team members are going to now begin to struggle because they are not getting people who trust the opportunity. All right. So you have to make positive contributions to the well-being of the entire community, not just to your team. All right. Now, so here, the role of a mentor is very, very important. Okay, because a mentor, like I said, or mentoring is a relationship. So you need to find somebody that you can gel with, that can help you on your way to becoming successful. And I'll make a point about that. Okay. So here, the mentor gives direction, gives training, gives support. He's able to, he helps you when you are in difficulty. So basically, without a mentor, sometimes you're going to make a mistake, right? But you don't know. Because like I said, a mentor is somebody who has more experience than you. So you may be a CEO of another company, you may be a bigger boss, general manager of a big company, but in Emery, maybe you're an associate. So you need to be able to, learn from somebody who has been in the business, who has succeeded in the business, who understands the system more, so that you can now, based on that, grow yourself into higher ranks. Without it, you're going to struggle, okay? And that is what a mentor does. So a mentor provides that, direction. It provides the training, provides the support. It sometimes becomes an inspiration and provides motivation for you to be able to reach your goals, to be able to get up and keep going. Sometimes you may be going through stuff that you feel is not working. You are doing things, you are doing all the necessary things that you are told to do, but it seems like maybe your board is not moving. People are not signing up. It's just not happening. Your team is not growing as fast as you wanted. But guess what? Your mentor, because he has experience, may know that very experience and know that you are not necessarily failing, okay? And will be able to encourage you to keep going. Because sometimes the activities you do pay you years later, months later. And if you're just going to base on the feeling you have now, you're going to give up. And that's where a mentor becomes very indispensable when you really want to go far in this business. Because you're going to have challenges, definitely. You are going to make mistakes, definitely. You're going to do things that is going to ripple back to you. You're going to think that this is not for me. I mean, I made a mistake. I thought I could do it with Mary, but hey. But a mentor will be able to guide you and show you by his own personal experience and other people's experience how, it happened to them the same way. And yet, they were able to overcome it and show you how you can overcome it. All right? So this is very, very important. Now, a mentor also keeps you focused on your goal, okay? And eventually, he works with you throughout the journey of success. So this is what a mentor does. Now, this is what the benefit of a mentor is. Number one, a mentor helps you to have clearer vision and set realistic goals. So there are some people who come into the business and maybe for some reason they see the opportunity and they feel like, wow, if Godfather, and we call him Godfather, right? Andrew Anoapo was able to do manager in 5 days. I'm going to do it in 3 days. Well, that might be possible, but that might not be realistic as well. Okay, and a mentor, a good mentor, will be able to, be able to get that energy that you have and channel it and help you to come out with a clearer vision and a clearer goal that is realistic. So you don't feel, disappointed when you do all the work and it's like you are not able to get the results in that 3 days, and you now begin to feel like, wow, this thing is slow. Meanwhile, in that 3 days, maybe you have become an executive, right? So this is one of the benefits of having a mentor. He gives you a clearer vision, or she helps you come out with a clearer vision and help you with setting realistic goals, right? So again, a mentor also is a guide, okay? A mentor helps to guide you to avoid unnecessary errors, okay? So some people, like to do things on their own. That's good. But many times if you are like that, you realize that you run into a lot of errors. And sometimes those errors can be very, very disturbing. And if you're not careful and you don't even have somebody to support you around that time, it could be the reason why you may not want to continue again, right? So this is another important role that a mentor, because most mentors or most people who have had experience may have also gone through the bad experiences. And so they know what to avoid. They can guide you to avoid certain mistake that they personally made. Maybe your idea may not be necessarily bad. Don't get it wrong. Some people, you may have an idea, but your idea, if implemented prematurely, will become disastrous. And so a mentor will be able to guide you to let you know that, okay, your idea is not bad. You want to do something on the board. This is what your strategy is. But unfortunately, if you implement it now, you're going to lose. If you implement it now, it's going to affect you negatively. All right. So you may be excited and may want to, I want to grab this. I want to do this. I want to get to this goal at this point. But if you don't have that guidance, you're going to get yourself trapped, and that could cause problems for you. Now, a mentor also helps to develop and harness your skills and personal qualities. And that's very powerful, especially if you get a mentor who is kind of, I don't know the perfect word to use it, but he sees through things. Okay, somebody who can understand you and see through, because some people, unfortunately, are so rigid, right? So you may come up with an idea. The idea is not necessarily bad, but I said, it just maybe the timing is not right. But some people don't understand that it's just the timing that's not right. They just rubbish it. And you feel so bad. And later on, you go find out that actually that was a very excellent idea that you came up with. Okay? So here, a mentor is able to help develop and harness your skills and qualities so that you can now be able to implement it in a way that will give you maximum results in the right time. Now, he also helps you overcome challenges and supports you through difficult times. Okay? So this is important because, like I said, we all go through, life is full of up and down. In fact, someone once said that if life was not, the only time life becomes a straight line is when you are dead. Like the heartbeat, the reading, okay? When it becomes a straight line, you are dead. So you should expect up and downs in this business. You should expect that you have confrontations that are not pleasant. You should expect that sometimes your team will turn, some of your team members will turn against you. You should expect that sometimes you get into, bad relationships and things like that. It's normal, it's part of life. But to understand it that way and to be able to overcome it is really the way to become successful. Because if you're going to run away because of challenges, you are never going to find anything that will be challenge-free, unless it's a scam. And even with that, it might come out to hurt you very, very badly, right? So this is really what the mentor helps you to do, okay, to identify or overcome those challenges and help support you in difficult times. And on the flip side, I like the play on this, right? On the flip side, the mentor helps to also challenge you to achieve more than you thought possible. So sometimes there are other people who have a mediocre perspective about their own selves and their own abilities, especially new members. Okay, somebody comes into the business and says, I don't know how to sell. I don't know how to talk to people. I don't know how to recruit. I don't know how to close. Yes, but the problem is that we don't look for people who just know how to do everything. We are looking for people who are willing to learn. And so a mentor will be able to identify that, no, listen, you have certain qualities in you. And if you're able to do this here and do that here, you can be able to overcome those challenges that you personally feel. And so the mentor is now able to challenge you to do things. So maybe you feel like you are a shy person, you can't talk in front of people. The mentor can challenge you to start presenting to people. You might start doing one-on-one. You may be even coming just to do the introduction and giving the guidelines, okay? Just like Michelle did a while ago. Just tell you to put your microphones on silent, right? Just that. But by doing that, he's exposing you and helping you overcome that challenge that you have of public speaking. And this is very, very powerful. So a mentor has that role with you and is able to help you and challenge you to do more. And oftentimes, it's incredible what you can do when you actually are pushed, right? So some people don't want to be pushed at all. Some people, they just want to be comfortable. But one of the things that I know is comfort is an enemy of success. Okay, if you want to be very successful, you have to get uncomfortable many times. And that is really sometimes the problem with certain people. They want to be comfortable and very successful at the same time. And it doesn't really work that way. So it helps when you can get somebody who can push you sometimes. It helps when you can get somebody who can, get you to see a bigger picture than you see for yourself. And go with you on that journey to achieve that. All right? Now, it also helps you to stay focused on your goals. Again, that is very important because sometimes you may be doing all the right things, but you may not be seeing immediate results. That doesn't mean what you're doing is bad. And it will take somebody who has experience and has more knowledge than you to be able to clearly identify that this is something that's clearly not working, or it is something that is going to yield results if you just keep going. All right? So this is very, very important. And of course, a mentor helps you to achieve results faster. Obviously, because if you are now able to avoid all the unnecessary errors and you're able to know the strategies that are working and know where to implement what at what time, it means that you're going to actually be able to go through the process of becoming successful very, very quickly. And that's really the goal. So remember this, everybody has a team leader. Having a team leader is automatic in a business because you couldn't have joined this business without somebody introducing you. So everybody has a sponsor, and your sponsor and their upline is your team leaders, or they are your team leaders. But to be significantly successful, you need a mentor. So a mentor is a deliberate decision. To have a mentor is not by default, it's a choice. And you have to now be deliberate about getting somebody who can be your mentor. Okay? So as a mentee, somebody who wants to be mentored, this is your role. First, you need to set your goals and targets. Okay? Then secondly, you need to be clear on your why in marriage. So you need to define your purpose. Like really, what do you want to do? Why do you want to do what you want to do? And once that becomes clear and you have a purpose, that is even going to direct you as to who to talk to become your mentor. Because if you find somebody who does not gel with the direction and the angle you want to go, or the way you have defined your purpose, you're going to always have friction. And it's not going to work because you're not going to trust the person. It's going to cause chaos. So you need to first identify your purpose. You need to identify who you are and your purpose. Okay. And that will lead you to identify the person in the business. It doesn't have to be in your upline, but in the business, it could be in your team leadership. If that's the way, it's great. But it could also be anywhere outside your team leadership. And that is also great as well. As long as you get somebody who can be the mentor, it's going to help you greatly. Okay. And here in MENTEE, we see that synergy actually working. Our system is built around synergy. So it doesn't matter even who you go to, as long as those people have what it takes to help you, you realize that it becomes significantly helpful. Okay. So you have Daniel Sekwe, I know, is helping a lot of people, some of whom are not even in his team. Okay, all the team leaders, Akim Barreto, JSM, Duncan, all these great leaders, Talatu, Mad Lion, the kind of synergy in this environment allows us to freely help people who are not even an organization, because it can always ripple back to us. Now, as a mentee, you must also be willing to learn and receive guidance. This is very important. If you are not willing to learn, if you are not willing to receive guidance, nobody can really help you. Because some people are so antagonistic. I mean, they don't want to follow anything. They want to be, their own boss, like we often say. And if that's the attitude, it's going to be very difficult for anybody to guide you. Okay? And so if you really want to have a mentor, if you really want to work with somebody or have a relationship that allows you to benefit from all the things I've talked about, you need to have you need to be coachable. Okay, you need to be coachable, and that's really what's going to help in that relationship. Okay, and as a mentee, you have to be in action with productive activities. So you have to learn to do the things that really give results. Not just be busy, but be busy doing the things that give you results. Now, you also have to be ready to complete assignments and honor commitments. Because when you decide to be a mentee or to choose a mentor, it means that you're going to have to commit to that, arrangement or relationship. It's just like marriage. If you don't want to marry, you can be free. You can go out and come home anytime you want. You can stay with your friends as long as you want. Come back midnight, nobody cares. But if you're going to commit yourself to marriage, there's a bond there and there's a contract that you must respect. Okay? And you cannot be an old person and still want to enjoy the relationship. It doesn't work that way. So if you're going to have to benefit from this, you have to be willing to commit to assignment. So if your mentor now begins to give you direction, you don't go doing what you want. Okay? And this is really, really very important. Now, you must also be ready to track your activities and be prepared to for your mentoring meetings. So if you are given assignments to do, before you meet your mentor, you should have, gone through, prepared your records. The details about what you've done. The outcome and everything. It might be clear, so that when you have to meet your mentor, the discussion will be very, very relevant, and it's going to be very, very successful, right? So this is really what is required of you as a mentee. And also, you have to look for ways to add value to your mentor. Now, this particular part is very important to me, because some people are just about take. But as much as you do that, you must also think of ways that you can give. And I'm not talking about giving like money or anything but there are meaningful ways you can actually contribute to your mentor that makes him feel like you are helpful also. Okay? So you might do little things that makes him, also appreciate, because it's a relationship thing. So it's a back and forth. So if you are taking a lot from him, you must find ways. I don't know. Currently, a lot. Like I'm struggling to come up with something as an example, but you can come up with simple little things you can do to give value to your mentor. That makes him happy to continue to give his time and effort and energy to you. All right. So this is really what your role is. Now, how to find a mentor? I have a few minutes. Okay. So you have to look for someone, number one, who is preferably in your sponsorship upline, preferably. Okay. So the reason why I say that is because, especially in being accountable, your upline leader is able to look into your organization. He's able to check your board, for example. He can type your ID and find how your board is looking and all that. And so if you can find somebody in your upline leadership to be your mentor, it's going to be very, very flexible in terms of that relationship. Otherwise, you can find anybody else outside of your sponsorship leadership and still get, to have that relationship, only that you have to now begin to share your maybe snapshots of your board and things with the person and try to make sense of all that. All right. And it's still workable. So just do whatever works for you. All right. Now you have to also look for somebody who has achieved greater success than you have. So it doesn't have to necessarily be, like I said, your sponsor. It can be anybody who has achieved significant success more than you have. Okay. Particularly in Emery. I'm speaking specifically about Emery. Okay. So the person can guide you, the person can help you, the person can give you direction, the person can teach you, the person can train you, okay? And then you also can find somebody who lives the Emery purpose and vision with integrity. So if that gels with you, because there are a lot of people who are doing this business and everybody has their own way of doing it, but you must find the person who kind of meets that quality of leadership and quality of personality in terms of the business, so that when you are learning from him, you are learning all the right things that can help you become significantly successful. And then, of course, it must be somebody who agrees to be your mentor. Okay, so mentoring is not by force. So the fact that you chose me to be your mentor doesn't mean I must agree to be your mentor. You might have an attitude, you might have a way of doing your things that I don't like also, or that the mentor doesn't like, okay? And so it should be okay for the mentor also to disagree, because it's a relationship. Again, I said it's a relationship. It must be mutually agreed on. So you have to ask, and the person needs to accept. If the person doesn't accept, no hard feelings, it's just the way it is, okay? So find somebody who can also agree that, okay, for this and this reason, I will do it, all right? And once you have that, then you begin to commit to that relationship. And then, of course, you now agree on schedules and all those things. All right, so now I am done. Let's recap what we have done so far. So number one, I believe that by now you can define your purpose. If you just, do that exercise, you'll be able to define your why you are part of Mary. Why do you really believe this? Okay, why do you want to get that big money? Why do you want to get to diamond? What is the goal? Is it just for diamond's sake? Is it just because people will see that you are diamond? Okay, when you find it, what kind of significance do you want to achieve? Because you can become diamond and actually be earning nothing. All right, so again, some people can become diamond and actually be in debt. So you have to define it. Okay, what is it for you? All right, now I believe you also know who a team leader is by now. So we already talked about it, right? Your sponsor or your upline leadership, right? You also know the role of a team leader. Okay, now you also know your role as a member of a team. So what you need to be doing. So stop getting quiet on the platform and only copying, things quietly. And if you are struggling, you don't ask anything, things like that, just complain and complain and complain. You have a responsibility for your own business. Now you also know who a mentor is. You know the role of a mentor. You know the benefits of having a mentor, right? And like I said, everybody has a team leader, but having a mentor is by choice. And especially if you want to have significant success, you need to find a mentor. And we've just learned how to find a mentor, what you need to consider when choosing a mentor. And of course, the mentor must also agree to mentor you, okay? And you also know your role as a mentee. So respect that, and your mentor will be happy to actually also serve you. Thank you very much.
Tchidi, I've known him since we started the business. Tchidi is a family man. Tchidi is a great father, which will reflect on how he will mentor and build his business. It is actually an honor to close his training today. Let me just share a very simple message. No matter how you think you are good at what you are doing, no matter how you think you are a professional on what you're doing in any type of business, one of the best ways to break into your field of business and to become more successful is if you have gone and find someone who have done that journey and gained tremendous success on the same goal that you want to achieve. So have that in mind. I want to be clear, the mentor will be able to guide you, not only advise you. Your mentor should inspire you, not only motivate you, and your mentor must be allowed to give you constructive criticism, however, not judge. Doing great things alone is impossible. That's the truth. The way all great leaders became like that is because they also have great mentors, and also they will be able to pay forward by mentoring others. For the mentors that here in this webinar, I know there are a lot of fantastic leaders here which are mentors. I want to grow. When we accept to become a mentor, we must take full responsibility, no matter how it can be, how hard it can be. It can be very hard, it can be difficult. I just want to share this. In a big airline, do you know it only takes one bad pilot to crash a plane and destroy all the business, all the reputation. So for the mentors, it is not our job to boss around. We must constantly evaluate the environment. If our environment is consistently progressing, or is it resulting to a toxic environment? Let's keep in mind, strong relationship, strong leadership always rely on how we build our relationship. Keep nurturing it. Ultimately, mentoring represents an opportunity to create our legacy within the organization, and this is what we're going to pass down in life and until our mentees become their own mentors. So this partnership should always be mutually beneficial and rewarding on both sides. Emery, one of our core values is success breeds success. Let me repeat that. Here, we take part on success breeds success. So knowing that you positively help someone, that should be your legacy. That is something that no one can take away from you. So thank you so much to all that is here. Thank you so much to all our Emergence Worldwide. Well done, Tchidi, and back to our host. My love to all. Stay happy. Stay simple.